Hey lovely ones, Ingrid Anna here. Just make sure that I don't look like a ghost. Everything looks a bit wobbly, but that's okay. I'm going to do a quick little video because I've got class today. I've got painters here who are painting my house. So they're sanding. I've got, hey Kerry, an exterminator coming, which is ironic, to do with getting rid of all the bugs in my kitchen. So it's a busy, busy morning, and then I've got to teach my high-end Empire CEO Diva She Mind class, which is really exciting. So I'll just wait for a few more of you to get on, and I just wanted to talk about myself today. Oh my God, it's moon time. There's a lot of purging and dark energy being released for so many people. I'm finding it really interesting to watch. I'm seeing a lot of women kind of in pain, but on the precipice of really radical change. At the moment, darkness cannot survive. The light is coming up and it's calling us all to rise, to stop the stories, to stop the unconsciousness, to stop repelling connection and deep resonance for riches and selling and service and building our empires. Hey, thank you, Leanne. I probably sound really drunk because I'm on my moon time and I'm like, I don't know, the energies at the moment. I'm so excited about things. It's very bizarre right now. I've launched recently a few different digital products that I've never had before. And I've got this feeling in my chest, like I'm really excited. I am humbled. I am deeply touched by my students, their feedback that I've been getting, people watching my programs and not having direct connection with me, because I've always been really hands-on in my business and my practice, and like I just was looking at a payment come in, a sale come in, and I'm like, who is that person? And that person is in my digital, has just bought my digital high-end empire, and it's wonderful because I get to serve so many more people now, and it's coming in like a flood. And I just want to let you know, guys, I have gone through times in my business and in my life where I suffered from severe anxiety attacks. I'm just looking at new copy for my money course that I'm releasing next year, and I'm like, remembering the times when I've struggled so deeply, family wounds, karmic wounds, ancestral patterning, the enormous amount of healing and ascension work that I've had to do to get to this level is incredible, but it's worth it because now I'm able to pay it forward, pass it on, and support so many more women. The journey has been deep, it's been profound. I had a benign tumor in my uterus years ago. I was misdiagnosed, and really I ended up having 3 surgeries. They wanted to cut out my fallopian tubes, the whole long story. But really at the end of the day, that my adrenal issues, my exhaustion really came from so much energetic constriction, so much poverty consciousness, so much drama, and I had to release that so deeply in every single cell of my being in order to do the work that I'm called to do now, in order to receive, in order to speak my truth, in order to hear my own self, in order to trust myself. And that's what it actually takes to build an empire. You're looking at strategy, you're looking at Facebook ads, and you're looking at driving traffic, and you're looking at selling and positioning and pricing and packaging, all of that, right? All of that is important. All of that is vital. However, if you do not have the energetic resonance and the disposition, the resonance for riches, that's what I call it, you will repel success, you will repel clients, you will repel sales. It's almost like you have this energetic screen where you won't allow people in because there's a belief behind it that you cannot receive it, that you cannot do it, that you do not deserve it, that you're a nasty, crazy cow of a woman to even receive. I have got a new client in my high-end empire. I have 2 different options, 2 different levels, and the second level is where they do get direct support from me, and they were watching my module number 1 on packaging and positioning, and one of these divine women said, oh my gosh, just that resistance sometimes comes up, and that can I be the one that does this? Can I sell high end? Can I sell $5,000, $10,000 packages? Can I do whatever it is, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year? And because I've been through such a big journey, and I have deep, hey, gorgeous ones, and deep, hey, beautiful Lisa, deep compassion for these women, because I've been there. I've been on my hands and knees. I've been in bed at night saying to my husband, after I lost my company in New York, I was blackmailed by a lawyer who stole my corporate kit. He wrote out all this stock to him. Anyway, I folded the company because it was just terrible, basically. So long story short, I had to start off from scratch. I had to start basically with hardly any money, pretty much borderline broke. And I had so much anxiety, like, could I do it? Can I do it? Can I build again? And after sort of driving my husband crazy and getting really bored with myself and my own BS, I was like, yes, I can. I used to be an ad executive. I've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I failed. So I effed up. So I allowed someone to bully me and rob from me. And what are you going to do about it now? Are you going to hate on yourself for the rest of your life? Are you going to be this poverty-ridden, broken woman, or are you going to rise? And that brings me back to today. Today we are being called to rise. Rise, sister, rise with all your wounds, with all the mess. Yes, you can. Yes, you can do it. Of course you can do it. You know, that I was laughing a little bit. I said, like, I have great compassion for this new client. I said, I have great compassion. I get all the fear and the resistance and the murkiness. But how many decades have we done that to ourselves? How many lifetimes? And if you really stand back and come back into your power and into your heart, and you allow all the story to go, you allow the drama to go, you allow the not enoughness to go for just a moment, and you begin to remember who you are. Of course you can. This is ridiculous to even doubt on some level that it's nonsense. It's baggage. It's BS. It's the lies and the illusion. So coming back quickly now to my false eyelashes that I put on today because I wanted to feel a bit glam and I was feeling a bit blur with my moon time. I was standing there and I put all this glue stupidly on my kitchen bench, and my body's a bit full on today because I've got period pain and I'm on painkillers and I'm just feeling a bit, you know, whatever. But I'm sort of, my hands are a bit shaking, trying to put these falsies on, and then I got this beautiful silk outfit on, and I literally leaned my whole body onto the sort of table to edge over to put my falsie on and got glue all over my silk beautiful outfit. And I'm like laughing at myself and thinking, this is just so, and I'm like, well, stuff it. I'm getting these falsies on and I don't care if I've got glue all over my eyes and I have to wash up my makeup and I look a mess. I'm going to put it together and I'm going to get this done, and I don't care about the glue and I don't care if I ruin my outfit. I'm just going to get these falsies on and it's happening. I'm going to come on, Ingrid, you're a smart woman. And by the way, you don't have to be an absolute genius. We all have genius within us to do really well online and make bank, by the way. You have to be resilient. You have to believe. You have to have great aptitude. You have to follow through. You have to know how to implement. You have to know to keep going when you feel like you can't breathe any longer. You have to keep going. It's the same thing. Keep going, keep going. Get the falsies on. Get your offer out. If you're not selling and you're not converting, work it out. Tweak it. Do you think that I haven't tweaked my ads a million times? Do you think I don't have a million CTAs? Do you think that I haven't worked it this way and worked it that way? You don't give up. I had a client that came to work with me and she grew our list by 4,000 people. She then was selling, she was doing really well, and she ended up having 1,000 people sign up for her webinar and then no one turn up. And this woman literally had the meltdown of the century. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is just the beginning. This is just the seed. What went wrong? And what went wrong was she didn't put the link to go to the webinar, right? The link wasn't in her emails. It was all a big stuff up, right? And at that point, you don't stop. You keep going. You pull up your big girl panties and you run another one and you learn from the mistake and you keep going. I see so many, hey Jennifer, hey Caitlin, I see so many women get thrown off and think they're not good enough and they buy into the struggle. I'm sorry, you're gonna make mistakes. There's gonna be struggle. And you have to learn this skill and the resilience and get the backbone you need. What do you think? It's going to be $1 million is going to be handed to you on a platter? No, these are your God, this is like your God-given divine journey, because every single thing that you learn with all the struggles and all the F-ups is vital for you, because you cannot hold $1 million. You can't hold $50,000 a month. You can't hold $20,000 a month if you don't have emotional resilience, if you don't know how to get through all the times that life is going to throw you a curveball, right? So don't feel like a failure. It's part of business. Get a backbone, get tough. You're strong. You've been through hell and back probably in your life, like we all have. Stop wobbling. Stop getting thrown off course and stay the ground. I was saying to my clients the other day, my students, step by step, day by day. Some days I'm exhausted. I take a whole day off. Some days I want to cry and rip my hair out. And I keep going and I keep going and I keep the falsies, put the falsies on, even though I've just ruined my $300 silk outfit that I absolutely love. You keep going, you take a deep breath, you ground yourself, you pray, you ask for support, and you keep going. And that's when when you have inevitable growth. You have inevitable growth and you'll have inevitable riches that you can't stop the flood of it. When you learn to have the backbone, you have the aptitude, you keep applying, you keep going, you keep working, you are ethical, you follow through in your word, you put lots of energy and thought into your programs, into your teaching, right? You keep going. Even when you feel a mess. Most days I feel a mess, but I just keep going. Even coming on to this video and doing this video today, moon time, I feel a little bit funny in my body. I've got painters here. I've got 5 men here. I've got this, my place is a complete bomb. I've got to teach a class soon. I've got to do all these different things, right? And I'm like, just get online, just speak. I wanted to speak. I wanted to share. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to tell you I've got it all together. We don't need any more gurus, right? I'm certainly not a guru. What we need is heart connection, and you need to give yourself permission to feel into the fact that you are so enough. You are so enough. If you're not making money in your business right now, there are things that you're just not doing that you need to implement, right? Don't get too emotional about it. There is a system, there are structures, there's the tweaking, there's the emotional growth, there's the resilience I was talking about, and then there's a strategy. It's always solvable. It's always solvable. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Heather. Sending a million blessings to Heather. Hi, everybody. Does anyone have a question for me? I don't know if I can see your questions. I can see who's some of the people who are on. I don't know if I can see questions. But there is a lot of darkness. I see a lot of pain coming up for people at the moment. And I just want you to take a deep breath and really trust. If you fully trusted that that was part of your ascension, that that was part of the letting go and the release, right? And don't make the rules so tough to win. Yeah, it doesn't have to be tough at all. I think there are days that are challenging. I think there's days where we get exhausted. I think that, yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't have to be so hard. I think the hardest part is when we have the resistance and when we have the doubt and the self-loathing and the procrastination. Like, one thing that I know that I'm very good at, that my parents gave me this, they impregnated me with some things that weren't so healthy and things that were really healthy. And I mentioned it before, coming from 2 immigrant parents who had no money when they came to Australia. My dad is Russian, my mother is Macedonian. My mum came here after an earthquake from Yugoslavia with nothing, literally nothing. And my dad came here when he was a little boy, and they came with nothing after World War II from Russia. And these people are very resilient. You know, they do the work, they show up, they show up, they show up, they show up, they show up. And it doesn't matter if you need a break. It doesn't matter if you need to rest. You know, I make sure, because I wake up really early and I've had severe adrenal issues in my life. So I make sure that I finish my days now at 1 or 2 p.m. That, you know, I take the time, but I'm very consistent. So you've just got to consistently show up, consistently, whether it's getting on video, consistently reaching out, consistently moving through any struggles, any emotional upheaval that you're having. be honest with yourself. Be honest. Like I've got a few women, you know, women who come into my programs. I've got women who are making $50,000 a month. I've got women who are making 20K a month. I've got people that work with me, one woman who's gone from 10K to 24K and then did a $600,000 launch. There's those stories. And then there's stories of women who just struggle and struggle and struggle, and that's okay. Absolutely no judgment there, but they're usually not doing the necessary work emotionally, strategically. They're holding back, they're hiding, they barely have anything vital to really sell. Not that they don't have the ability to do it, but they haven't learned yet, or they haven't given themselves that permission to create something that's really aligned to their truth, to their genius. I had a client, she's on here now listening, and she said, I have to admit I really haven't done enough for myself, and that's okay. And she said, I've forgiven myself and I'm going to let that go. And I said, well, that's perfect, because there's no hating on yourself or holding yourself back on any level is poisonous. You have to have self-love and look at yourself and say, okay, right? But I'm now ready, I'm now going to do it. But when someone comes to me like that, I have a lot of deep compassion for that, because they have lots of emotional awareness around, and they're taking personal responsibility for themselves. I've been resistant to start a group, but realize it's my time. Absolutely, starting a group, starting a free group. I remember when I first started selling high-end, so basically, hi gorgeous, come and say hi. This is my husband, come and say hi.
Hi everyone.
That's Chris, he works with me now.
Our exterminator's here.
Our exterminator's here, yeah, we have the exterminator. Hi Lily, hi Kerry. Yeah, Nadia, you're gonna rock it. Yes, I was just saying, hey Jade, thank you. I put on the false eyelashes today. I'm teaching a class. I don't even know what time it is. But guys, keep going. And the biggest thing that I was going to say is, I can't even remember, due to moon time, a bit all over the place. And that's okay. God, I'll be blessing myself today when I'm teaching and working with the divine. And I just got another payment as I'm talking. Come in for, I've got a beautiful offer. It's one of my lower tier offers called Rich Goddess. It's changing soon actually to a bigger offer, but it's a $27 packaging, like teaching people how to package up their brilliance. It's got like scripts and templates and things like that, so people know how we lay them out and whatnot. Anyway, so someone else just bought one, and that makes me so happy, because it's not like, oh great, I made $27 or $250 a month or whatever it is that I'm selling, right? It's, oh my God, like that's great, and all to make money, obviously, wonderful, but it's so beautiful now for me to feel that I can reach and serve so many more women. And it just blows my mind. And I think when we come from that place, that helps me get over myself. When I used to have such chronic fear when I wanted to vomit, you know, I was sharing a story about doing my first webinar, you know, I wanted to vomit. Literally, I sprained my ankle really badly, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, I don't care. I'm gonna just go for it. I'm just gonna be myself. I'm gonna do my best, right? And I did my webinar, and I had so much fear, but I just shared from my heart, and I really just focused on service. So when I just focus on service, oh, thank you, Lisa. When you focus on service, and I want to tell you, I used to be petrified of getting on camera. I had a lot of abuse growing up, even though I started a journalism. I sort of like was quite successful, like always a go-getter, my type of personality, type A personality, but deep trauma and wounds from my childhood. I had a lot of abuse from my dad. I bless him, I've got a really good relationship with my dad now, but a lot of and it makes me want to cry just because I've come so far, and I get the fear of women, but you know, he used to hit me a lot and made me feel really stupid, and then would say things to me growing up like, you're not beautiful enough to I wanted to be an actress, so I went to New York when I was really young to be an actress actually. Anyway, I ended up having, you know, terrible eating disorders, so dysfunctional, and I was made to feel, and I'm not blaming him, but it made me feel really stupid, and kind of like that there was something, I wasn't pretty enough. And I remember I was petrified, and I got my first video out, and I stood back and watched myself, and I was like, oh my God, wow, I actually know how to string a sentence together, and I don't feel stupid, and I don't look ugly, I actually look okay, I look pretty. You know, and that's why it's so important to just start and to bust that illusion, because that shit will trap you up. That stuff will poison you, and I should know. So I would make lots of money. I raised capital. I worked as an ad executive at the age of 28. I created TV shows. I get celebrities involved, like Carrie Otis. She was a famous model married to Mickey Rourke for years. And we bonded, and I create shows and pitch, got big TV development agents. I have my own clothing line in New York. I've done all this stuff, been on TV, everything. Featured in all these magazines. I worked as a journalist, whatever. But the truth was that under all of that was this deep wounds, and I kept paralyzing myself. I had chronic exhaustion because I hadn't worked through all that fear. It was literally living in my body. I had then that benign tumor, which was this poisonous sort of infection. I know what it's like to feel like you want to die. I've been to those darkest places. And I think through that journey, it has taught me so much. It's given me incredible amount of intellectual property and teaching. How do you get out of that chronic woundedness? How do you grow and strengthen yourself and recover from all of that? It's made me strong, and it's given me the ability to deeply teach, because unless unless you really, if you want to be a transformational teacher, right? Most of us have gone through these chronically debilitating, paralyzing times, and then we have a choice. Are we going to liberate ourselves from those stories and use that to teach and pass it and pay it forward? Or are we going to be dragged and drained down by it? Right? So I'm just inviting you all to allow yourself to give yourself permission to share and teach and use your journey and your mess and make it into magic and make it into your movement and make it into money. You're not alone. The wounded stuff, yes, it's going to give you all this intellectual property. Oh my God, absolutely, Lisa. And I used to be petrified as well of teaching in groups as well. Like when I first had my first mastermind, that scared me because I do channeling and healing work, and I was happy enough. Hey, thank you for the love, you guys. I was happy enough to show who I truly am and the fullness of me and my power. I was happy to do that one-on-one behind closed doors. I was happy to give it my full glory and just go and be all that I am. And then when it came to doing it in a group, I was really scared. Like, would I be able to do it in a group? What would they think of me? Could I hold that space? Oh, so many things. And I think I just got over myself, So when your back up is against the wall and you're having that that's someone soaring in the background. Yes, Jade, I've got builders here. I finally got the money to paint my house. Finally got the money to pay to have my house painted. It's disgusting. Renovated on the inside. I've had no time. I've been working, serving and working and serving and helping my daughter grow and keeping my marriage alive and keeping myself together whilst building my empire. And finally, I have the cash flow and the energy to hold space to actually think about painting my house. What's your take when you think everyone else is already doing it? That's all BS, Lisa. The complete and utter fear, ego, doubt. There is, something like a $17 billion business right now online, growing every year rapidly. If we were all making $10 million a year in the same space, there'd still be so much growth to be made. There is I'm a business strategist. I teach spiritual, deep, energetic, emotional rewiring and strategy. There's a million people, maybe not they're in the business space, right? But no one's me. No one can mimic me. No one can mimic my energy or my vibration or my journey or the way that I teach. And no one can mimic you, Lisa. You are a holy divine woman, and you, seriously, right now, you're sitting on hundreds and hundreds, if not millions of dollars right now, right? Like, just looking at you, looking at your face, I can feel into your energy. Once you own it really deeply, at a deeper level, like, you've already got that star element to your vibration, right? So you will just attract in so many amazing, incredible people. I had so many different channels and spiritual teacher clients and weight loss people and you name it. And like, honestly, we haven't even, including myself, we haven't even skimmed the surface of what's possible for us and all the people that really need us to show up and teach. So let's allow all that. There's no limit. We see scarcity, we see ourselves struggling, we see friends struggling, we see the world in anarchy, we see the poverty, we see the starvation, and sometimes we can buy into it as if, oh my God, that's the one reality. There's always the polarity. Unfortunately, that is a power struggle that's been created by man and people who really want to use power for the I. And then there's the other side where there's so much abundance and limitlessness. And when we come from the collective of the we, there's just so much. And that's also very deep, amazing, beautiful, sacred power. And that power really comes from a really conscious, what I call conscious wealth. The wealth that comes from really wanting to be a really divine service, live our soul calling, and contribute to the world. So anyway, guys, I've got to go and get ready for my class, and I'm sending you so much love, and give yourself permission to rise. I've had some challenge that's gotten in my way. My daughter lost her fiance, found him dead, and it's thrown me off, but I'm moving through it. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Yeah, just clear your energy. When someone is gone, there's always that grieving process. My dad is currently got cancer and he's dying, and I get it. I get that feeling, and the emotions that come up in life can catch us off guard. Just so important to ground our energy, to allow ourselves to grieve, and then to give yourself permission to keep building and building and building. And remember, never work alone. Always ask the divine creator, the forces and powers that be, for the highest good of all, to always hold you and love you and guide you. And the thing that I do, I think, quite well is I use any trauma or any pain to really allow me to connect more deeply with my audience, right? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay, you're saying that to me. My pleasure, yeah. Look, life, you know, with my dad's sickness, and, you know, I'm going to doctors and talking about palliative care and all these different things. And it's just teaching me to live more, because we're not here for a long time. We never know when our time is up. And I just want to hold my life sacred. I want to fully live. And so even with loss, there is so much love, and there's so much gratitude, and there's so much to celebrate. It makes me want to live more deeply. When I hold my daughter at night, like, I stop myself and I just have so much love for her and so much gratitude for her. And I try to just stop myself in that moment to just appreciate that experience with her. And I'm always like giving like gratitude in my prayers, because, you know, we never know what's going to happen. Yes, Heather, and Heather knows. Heather, I'm sure she won't mind me saying, lost one of her children. And I'm sending you so much love, Heather. She's a sacred, amazing soul. So even Heather's loss has deeply affected our community and our tribe, and her strength and her love and her journey makes us all even, I think, more deeply grateful, and opens our heart so much more to have gratitude, and just to stop every day. Like, even whilst I'm building my business, you know, like me, just making sure that I have time for my family, that I have time for myself, and that my business growth really, it's not coming from this ego of needing, I'm sure I've had that elements of needing to prove myself, right? Prove my, you know, I'm worthy, so I'll grow a big business, right? And you're amazing, Heather. I'm sending you so much love. Now that my bills are always paid, or I can afford to pay for my crappy looking house on the outside to be painted. I can afford to send my daughter to a good school, and I can pay for my car payments and not worry that my car's going to be taken off me or whatever. It's really, for me, about doing my, you know, like really serving deep. And now my brain's going into, okay, so with all of my offers, you know, what charities can I give to? And at the checkout, will I also have links for people to donate more money to other charities to get women off the streets and women that have received like great violence. And so now my head's starting to go into that and non-profits and all that kind of stuff. And that humbles me. Like that just literally sometimes brings me to my knees, because now I have the headspace to start thinking even more deeply. Like I have a conscious business. A business is really to support women to socially, politically, and economically rise, right? To end suffering, because women are one of the greatest commodities on this planet. We always pay it forward and give back. And now I'm like, okay, but what more can I do? And I wouldn't have, I don't believe, that capacity to even be thinking as much in that way if I didn't have a decent financial foundation. And the support structures in place for me. You know, I don't even have time. I don't do sales calls anymore. I have 3 sales people on my team to support people to decide whether they want to work with us or not. I don't. My biggest focus now is, okay, the growth and the products that we're going to be launching in the future, and then making sure that I honor my word and deliver to my audience, simplifying our systems and making that easier to run so that I don't get overwhelmed or exhausted, because then I won't serve anybody very well. So there's a lot structurally happening in our company right now to ensure that we keep building and growing and supporting our people, and that we don't topple over. Because business growth is wonderful, but if you don't have the structures and the support in place, it actually can be incredibly stressful and really, really overwhelming. So that's been a journey, and the biggest thing for me there is really allowing myself on a more deeper level for myself to be supported by a team, by A players. I was speaking to a client yesterday, just ensuring that she speak up, ask the right questions around who she's hiring on her team, what are they going to do for her and when, what is their level of excellence, and what is their level, you know, where do they really rock it, and just really being very, very mindful and clear about what you need, and asking very powerful questions about what you need to receive from your team. I used to play that caretaker role. I love my team. I like to be generous, I give bonuses, I deeply care. I'm, you know, doing gifts for birthdays and Christmas and all that kind of stuff. But that's nice and that's wonderful, whatever. But from my own self-serving point of view, so that I'm nourished and so that my business keeps growing and I can keep like really making sure that I deliver on my vision and that I bring that to fruition and to life, I cannot have a team that I'm caretaking for. They have to have a certain level of emotional resilience, personal responsibility, proactiveness, and groundedness and emotional IQ. Otherwise, we're not a match, because they're too much work for me. And they actually then, I'm serving them. They should probably be paying me and not the other way around. So it's taken me a long time to really own that within myself and understand deeply. And it's a self-loving thing for myself to say, hey, I don't need to be taking care of every single person, because I've got thousands of people I need to reach. And that's my job, not to take care of people constantly on my team. So I've released all of that, and that's been really helpful. Anyway, guys, I'm going to love and leave you. I'm sending you a million blessings. If you're interested at all in potentially working with me and finding out more about our programs, the best way to do that, I think, is to go to ceodivaconsult.com. That's CEO Diva Consult.com. Diva stands for divinity, by the way, because you're the Holy Divine. And speak to one of my Diva advisors about your business, how we can support you, and then they'll tell you about the various options that we have that may really be able to give you what you need. The only thing that I'll say to anybody coming to work with me, it's always a co-creation. I can give and give and give, but unless each and every individual woman does the work that she needs to do, it kind of doesn't work. Okay, so if you're ready to rock and rise, you want to make a lot of money, it can all be done, but you need to do the work. Okay, mwah, a million blessings. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, you holy divine woman. Okay, bye.